When did you first decide that you needed to have an opinion about yourself? At what point did you accept the premise that you're an object requiring constant evaluation? Because that's what self-esteem is, just having feelings about yourself. And somehow we've turned this into the foundation of mental health. Congratulations, humanity. We've convinced people that the solution to feeling bad about themselves is to feel better about themselves. This circular logic has become psychological orthodoxy. Self-esteem is an internal surveillance system. You wake up and immediately there is diagnostic monitoring. How are we feeling about ourselves today? Are we confident, worthy, enough? It's like having a personal NSA agent in your head, except instead of national security, they're monitoring your compliance with invisible standards. The beautiful part of this scheme, the standards are never actually yours. You think you're being authentic when you decide you're proud of your creativity or kindness. But who told you those were the metrics worth tracking? Where did you get that list? You inherited it from parents, teachers, Instagram, wherever. You got a pre-made menu of acceptable ways to feel good about yourself, then called it self-worth. It's like going to McDonald's, then thinking you're a chef because you chose the Big Mac over the nuggets. Psychology loves this system because it creates the perfect customer base. You've got people trained to constantly evaluate themselves, and surprise, most conclude they're not measuring up. So they need help. Therapy, self-help books, life coaches, whatever Amazon is selling to unlock their potential. It's genius, really. Create a problem that can never be solved because the standards keep changing and aren't yours to begin with. Then sell solutions forever. The self-help industry isn't trying to cure low self-esteem. It's managing it at optimal levels, functional enough to work and consume, insecure enough to keep buying. You know what they call people who don't constantly worry about their self-worth? Psychopaths. Or enlightened masters. Those are apparently the only two options. Let's be honest about what this is. You're not a person, you're a market segment. The anxious perfectionist demographic. The imposter syndrome niche. They're not good enough but trying consumer base. Think about how much money you've spent trying to feel better about yourself. Gym memberships, clothes, courses, books, therapy, meditation apps, skincare, supplements. All promising to deliver that elusive sense of adequacy. But here's the joke. The system needs you to never actually arrive there. If you genuinely stopped giving a damn about your self-image, you'd stop buying things to improve it. You'd stop being useful. So you get these little temporary hits. You're amazing just as you are for about 5 minutes until the next ad reminds you that amazing people use this particular face cream. So what's the alternative? The alternative is to stop playing the game entirely. Not to play it better, not to win, but to walk away from the casino. You don't need to have an opinion about yourself. You really don't. You can exist without constant commentary about how you're performing at existence. You can make choices without needing them to reflect your authentic self or boost your confidence. You know those moments when you're completely absorbed in something? When you're creating something, genuinely laughing, dealing with some crisis, and for a few minutes, you completely forget to monitor how you're feeling about yourself. That's not a break from real life. That is real life. The self-monitoring is the interruption. But the system can't tolerate that for long. Because a person who's not constantly worried about their self-worth is impossible to control. They don't need approval, validation, or proof of anything. They're present. And present people are terrible consumers. This is why even rebellion gets commodified now. Even fuck the system becomes a brand. You can buy the t-shirt, join the community, get the aesthetic. Because actual rebellion, just quietly refusing to participate in the self-evaluation circus, doesn't look like anything. It can't be marketed. And that's what scares the machine most. Not anger, not protest, not even revolution. Just indifference to the whole performance. People who are too busy living to worry about whether they're living correctly. The funny thing is, once you see this, you can't unsee it. You start noticing how much of human conversation is people basically asking each other for performance reviews. How am I doing? Am I okay? Am I enough? Over and over in 1,000 different ways. Nobody actually knows the answer to that question, because it's not a real question. It's just the sound the programming makes. So next time you catch yourself wondering whether you have good self-esteem or enough confidence or whatever, just notice that you're doing it. Notice that you've been trained to monitor yourself like a stock price. And then maybe, just for a minute, stop checking the ticker. See what happens when you're not performing for an audience of one. You might find out there's a person in there who was never actually broken in the first place.